And now for something completely different. We're going to turn this dance studio into a photo studio. Let's get started.
I'm Ben Zvan, and you're watching Road Noise. Alright, the first step is to make sure that the floor was completely clean. So Jody went through with push broom and got rid of all the little bits of grit and glitter and feathers and all the things that were on the floor. And then I came back with one of those microfiber mop things, whatever. Anyway, so the reason for that is to make sure that when we put the floor down, there's no glitter or feathers or anything underneath the floor that would create a visible ripple on the top surface. The next thing to do is to lay down the floor. Now, the instructions for this flooring from Roscoe, it's Gam Floor from Roscoe, and I used the pewter color because it has a nice a nice high gloss surface. So it kind of mimics the floor that we're covering, actually, but it's lighter gray. So the instructions say to lay it out. When you unroll it, the backing is what's up, which is, you can see that off on the piece to the right there. But the backing is the side that's up. So their instructions are to unroll it, peel the backing off, flip it over, and then just lay it down. We found that didn't really work out very well. These are 20-foot long pieces, and what we ended up doing was rolling it out, rolling it up, flipping it over, and unrolling it again. And you can see here I'm taking the backing and I'm loosening it and sticking down the end of it. And we did it so the entire thing was laid out, so we knew it was going to be straight. And then came back along, peeled the backing off, and straightened it out at the same time. We still ended up with a ton of little bubbles and stuff in there, and actually we still found little bits of grit and glitter that were underneath it that, surprise, surprise, after we cleaned up the floor at a dance studio, there was still glitter on the floor. And in case you missed the sarcasm there, that's not really at all a surprise. We got rid of a lot of it, but there was still some there. So, yeah, this stuff took a really long time to put down. What you're seeing here is about 20 minutes per sheet, and we did 4 sheets of it. Roscoe does have a squeegee that's supposed to work for this stuff. I guess one of these days I should probably go someplace where somebody's putting it down and see how they do it. Now, if you look at the specular highlight there where you can see the light reflecting on the flooring, it actually looks fine. There are tons of little tiny micro bubbles and stuff in there. But it's fine. The instructions say that you can actually come back with a pin and you can prick holes in all the bubbles and squeeze them out flat, but that would have taken us probably another 10 hours to do. So we went with this, we just laid it down. So the next thing that we do is we put up the supports. These are C-stands with a 2-inch conduit on the top of it. And there's a little boom there just to hold it forward in the center. My goal there is to make it so that back C-stand doesn't come through what we're about to hang up on there, which is a whole ton of black velvet. This is 10 pieces of 10-foot long black velvet that I'm putting up there. Interesting aside here, C-stands. I had no idea what a C-stand was. Turns out C stands for century. And as far as the lore goes, the century stands, the C stands, were used to hold up these 100-inch light modifiers. So they got called C stands, which I don't know if that's accurate. I read it on Wikipedia or something. I don't know. Anyway, so now we got the background up, we got the floor down. We're going to put up all of the lighting. I'm using Alien Bees for almost everything here, and I've got a couple of Canon speed lights that I've got in the back. The Alien Bees, I have what I believe they call it a medium softbox, and there's a grid on the other side of that you can't actually see. And the reason I use the grid is so I'm not lighting the floor or the background very much, because I want the background to be controlled entirely by the lighting that's in the back, which you can kind of see in there. There's an Alien Bee, like almost dead center, pointing at the background with a grid and barn doors on it. And again, I've got the grid and the barn doors, so I'm not lighting the floor, and I'm only lighting the background. and the effect is actually quite cool. You can kind of see it as the flash is flashing here, and when you just look at it in this room under fluorescent lights, like, oh great, so you put down a gray floor on top of a gray floor, and the end result, I think the end result works out pretty well, and I'm pretty happy with the way it works, and really everybody who gets the pictures from this is also really happy with the way they work. So that's it. We'll see you next time on Road Noise.